Hi, welcome back to our channel. Today I'll be making classic Rice Krispies, so let's begin. First, let's prep the pan. I'm using a 8 by 12 inches baking pan. Spray with cooking spray and line with parchment paper. This will help so much when taking them off the pan. Spray a little more cooking oil inside. The size of the pan will determine how many and how thick your Rice Krispies will be. Now, in a large pot, add the butter. Let it completely melt on low to medium heat. Once the butter has completely melted, add the marshmallows. Smaller marshmallows melt faster, but I had a combination of large and mini, so that's what I used. Stir it until the marshmallows have completely melted on medium to low heat. This takes a little elbow grease, but it's all part of the fun of making these sweet treats. Once the marshmallows have melted and look somewhat like this, add the vanilla extract. Fold in the vanilla. Folding in is simply mixing the vanilla in, using a rubber spatula and making gentle movements. Now add the salt. This is just to bring out the flavors. You won't be able to taste it at all. Gently fold it in. And now add the puffed rice or Rice Krispies. Turn off the heat and fold in the Rice Krispies, mixing it really well. Add the rest of the mini marshmallows. Move quickly. As it starts to cool down, it'll start to harden. If you need it, put it back in the heated stove on low for a few seconds. For now, I'm mixing it really well. It's a little work, but it's worth it. When everything is very well combined, transfer the Rice Krispies into your prep pan. Now spread it with your rubber spatula. If it's sticking to the spatula, spread it with a little cooking oil. Flatten the top as much as you can. Now cover with plastic wrap and let it cool down completely, which will take about an hour at room temperature. Once the hour has passed, you're ready to cut into it. You can also decorate it, which is what I'm gonna do. It's a very simple decoration. I'm putting in a glass a pastry bag. You can also use a freezer bag. I'm melting about half a cup of white chocolate, or basically candy melts, in a double boiler. Feel free to melt them in your microwave. I just don't have one. In the microwave, melt it in 30-second intervals, mixing in between with a rubber spatula until they completely melt. In my double boiler, I heat up, without boiling, water that doesn't touch the bottom of the heat-proof bowl on top. In the heat-proof bowl, I stir the chocolate until it melts. Once the chocolate is all melted, carefully transfer to your piping bag or pastry bag. Cut the tip off and drizzle however you want on top of the Rice Krispies. Twist the top so that the chocolate doesn't come out of the top part of the bag. Now drizzle in the chocolate and top with Christmas sprinkles for a festive treat. Add as many layers as you want. Once you're done decorating, let the chocolate set, about 30 minutes to an hour at room temperature. Then, remove the treats from the pan, lifting up the parchment paper. Carefully remove the parchment paper. It should be fairly easy due to the cooking spray we applied earlier. Now spray your cutting knife with more cooking spray. I know, but it does help with the sticking problem these treats can have. And you won't be able to taste the cooking spray either. Now cut them however large or small you will like them. I cut them fairly small. They're quite sweet, so smaller portions tend to be more enjoyable. These are so nostalgic and easy to make. They might seem intimidating to some, but it's a classic treat during the holidays that you can easily make at home. To store them, place them in an airtight container for up to a week. With that said, I hope you give this recipe a try. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye!